It is very common for an avoidant to string their partner along, to not commit to them, but refuse to let them go. And this can especially happen after the discard, after the avoidant has abruptly broken off the relationship with you. You were blindsided, devastated, but instead of taking that time and space that the avoidant needs, they continue to contact you. They continue to reach out to you, maybe even on a daily basis. They continue to communicate with you as if you are still in a romantic relationship. They may even take you out on dates, get physically intimate with you, but refuse to put a label on the relationship. And when every time you talk about getting back together officially, they will say, I'm just not ready for that. I love you, but I'm not ready to be in a relationship with you, but I don't want to lose you either. It'll be a reoccurring theme of, I love you, I can't be in a relationship, and I don't want to lose you, but I can't commit to you. And this can go on and on for months and years. The reason why the avoidant can do this is because they recognize the benefits of you. They enjoy your company. You give them great validation. And avoidants have an extremely low self-esteem, so they really rely on that external validation. They feel better knowing that you want them. They feel better getting that attention and validation from you. However, if they commit to you, if they get back into a relationship with you, well, that means emotional intimacy will have to build, because that's what commitment signifies, and that scares the avoidant. They have a castle wall that they build around their hearts, and the fear is if you get inside, you're going to figure out that the avoidant is in fact unlovable, and you're going to reject and abandon them. So commitment, especially with a healthy partner that treats them well, is frightening to them. Is absolutely frightening to them. They still want to get the benefits of you, but they don't want the fear of losing you. And as long as you remained a friend or a friend with benefits or some sort of situationship, they don't have to fear losing you. But if they commit to you, if they become your official partner in any way, shape, or form, well, that means a relationship is real, and there is an unspoken rule that you're supposed to be emotionally intimate with your official partner. That scares the avoidant. You see, they learned at a young age that emotional intimacy leads to abandonment and rejection. They often had parents or guardians that were not emotionally present for the avoidant. They were emotionally neglectful. And the avoidant learns to suppress their emotions. And also, because they were emotionally neglected, they grew up believing that they were unlovable. A young child doesn't understand why they're not receiving love, so they personalize it. And the avoidant carries these attachment wounds to adulthood. So the fear remains that if you get to know them, if you get to know the real them behind that castle wall, you're going to figure out that you are too good for them, that they are in fact unlovable, and you're going to reject and abandon them. However, the avoidant does not want to actually lose the benefits of you. So they want their cake and to eat it too. They want all the attention, the validation, and even the physical intimacy of a romantic relationship without being in an official romantic relationship with you. Early on in dating, it was less scary to put a title on it because they were swept up in the dopamine. They were swept up in the infatuation. They were love bombing you because it wasn't real yet. When the relationship became real, and usually there's milestones or events that occur to make it seem more real, that could be commitment labels, it could be maybe getting engaged, meeting families, a nice vacation together, something that signified that the relationship was growing close and real. That's when their fears get triggered. They take their emotions, they take their feelings for you, and they suppress them and bury them. That's why they can discard you, because they've blocked off access to their own feelings. But that low self-esteem inside still remains. They still need that validation. So rather than taking the time and space that they claim to have needed, they still need to make sure that you still want them. They still need to make sure that you're an available option. So they'll string this person along. It is very selfish and self-absorbed behavior. Now, the avoidant is not doing this for the purposes of hurting you, but they're not exactly going out of their way to not hurt you either. They're only thinking of themselves. They're only thinking of what their own immediate needs and wants are, or at least perceived needs and wants. If they were considering their partner, they wouldn't string someone along like that. because they wouldn't want to hurt someone like that, because being strung along endlessly, it can be a very painful experience for the other person, creating anxiety because you're getting half of the benefits of this person, but you're not getting their full commitment, and you're living in this land of what are we, and that creates a lot of anxiety. Also, the discard itself is completely soul-crushing. It's a very painful experience. When they put their partner through all of this, the avoidant is only thinking of themselves. They're only thinking of how they feel in that moment, and they're simply not considering their partner because they've taken all those feelings and buried them. So, if the avoidant keeps stringing you along, keeps on wanting to see you, be intimate with you, but won't commit to you, and says things like, I love you, but I can't be in a relationship with you, and I don't want to lose you, but I can't be in a relationship with you, understand that cycle can go for eternity. And it usually goes until one of two things happen. And most often, it requires the person that is on the receiving end of this to hold their boundaries and say, commitment or I leave. And it usually requires them leaving. Now, the other way that ends is if the avoidant finally commits to actually healing themselves, healing their attachment wounds and becoming more secure and doing the work, which almost always requires therapy. But avoidance, well, they avoid self-reflection, so doing that work is very difficult and painful for them. They can, but it usually requires them hitting some sort of rock bottom, which usually is losing a person that they care about. So most often, in order to end that cycle, it requires the person to walk away and say, I love this person, I love the avoidant, but I know my self-worth, and I'm not going to allow myself to be treated like this. I am not going to allow myself to be strung along like this because I deserve more. And you know what? You do deserve more. You do deserve a partner that is emotionally available for you. You deserve a partner that would not discard you and string you along, because you wouldn't do that to anybody else, so you don't deserve that in return. Don't sell yourself short. This is a perfect lesson as to why boundaries are so crucial. If you hold healthy boundaries, you'll never be in a situation where you're getting strung along like that, because you'll be taking care of yourself, and the duration of these kind of situationships, relationships will be much shorter, which means you'll invest less emotional energy into a person that is not emotionally available, and you will save that energy and time for somebody who is. Believe me, boundaries, they're your best friend.